What's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson. Today, Neil Custis and the son are getting it, so pin them back. Let's get into it. What's he been saying, Steve? I'll tell you. That's what we're here for, isn't it? So, dressing room bust up is what Neil Custis has imaginatively called it. In fact, I had to go on their website today, The Dirty Sun, and it's been headlined, Noisy Neighbours, Man United stars furious half-time rants rocked Etihad as City staff heard inquest led by raging Fernandes and Martinez. How did they know it was them two? Or did they just hear Spanish, Portuguese accents and just go, it must have been them two? Then he goes on. There's literally two sentences in this, which could have just been made up. And then he just goes to list Fernandes' interview after the game. Now that's what you call real investigative journalism. No wonder he works for the Sun. 2 lines of actual work, maybe actual work, hearsay at best, right? Which is, to be fair, that's what they sell, innit? Let's be honest. They sell gossip. They don't really sell facts in the Sun. A furious half-time rant from Bruno Fernandes and Lisandro Martinez at the Manchester derby was so loud it could be heard down the corridor. So someone down the corridor heard someone with a bit of a Latin twang in their accent and decided to make a bullshit story up and sell it to the Sun for a fucking Twix. Right? So United, let's picture the scene, right? It's the Manchester derby. It's 4-0 at half-time, and you're surprised there was shouting in a professional football changing room. How is this fucking news? The entire article is this. A furious half-time rant from Bruno Fernandes and Lisandro Martinez at the Manchester derby was so loud it could be heard down the corridor, full stop. With United trailing 4-0, skipper Fernandes and centre-back Martinez raged at their teammates that they lacked belief. Then there's 2 photos which take up more room than the actual writing. The message was heard by City staff outside the visitors' change room. You already said that in the first sentence. United did improve in the second half, scoring 3 as they went down 6-3, right? Then he just rewrites the quotes that he said in his post-match interview. And it says, after seeing Erling Haaland and Phil Foden both complete their hat-tricks, United's dressing room was much quieter at the end of the game. Of course it was. You can't win the game after full time. You can't get back into the game after the referee's done the handshakes and the whistles at the end. Listen, Neil, don't make me get Lou Van Gaal in here to bitch slap you again, right? How are you, an alleged professional journalist with seemingly decades and decades of experience, sitting down in front of your fucking IBM ThinkPad and writing down this, hitting send, and then fucking cashing a check for it, you absolute charlatan? How this is bad for the Sun. Was it upset, was there, that we were fucking losing a Manchester derby? Do you know what would have been news? If it was at half-time, Manchester United were playing Oasis songs and drinking Lucasades. That would have been news, right? It's not fucking news that professional athletes are upset with a shit performance after 45 minutes, is it? Honestly. I don't expect someone to fucking bitch slap someone in there at half-time. Jesus Christ. What do you expect in this situation? What did you want to hear? The audacity of you to submit that and call it news. Honestly, I have zero expectation of people who work for the Sun, and you've fucking drowned it. You've literally held its head in the toilet, and it couldn't have got any lower. This is utterly ridiculous. I'm going to have to start going through the rest of your work, your body of work, if you can call it that. Oh my God. How are you employed? Imagine being so shit at your job that today he turned up and went, that's me done for the fucking day. To the pub. I actually genuinely can't believe it. Actually genuinely can't believe someone has submitted this. And, right, so Hussey in the comments saying every United fan account on Twitter is running with this crap, right? And the thing is, I'm seeing so many people's weird takes on it. I'm seeing people say, this is a problem. How is it a problem? How is it? Imagine Roy Keane in a 4-0 down at halftime dressing room, and you tell me how you expect Roy Keane to react. Now, we have got a couple of characters in this dressing room. One of them is Bruno Fernandes. One of them is Lisandro Martinez, yeah? That is exactly the sort of reaction I want from people who are supposed characters and leaders in the dressing room. Listen, I don't understand any... Like, have you ever been in a changing room where things are going wrong? It gets loud. You've got 20 blokes in there that aren't happy. Probably some of them a little insecure that they've added to this. Probably a little bit embarrassed with their own performances. People are going to lash out. People are going to get angry. You're going to have defenders pointing at forwards. You're going to have forwards pointing at defenders. That's how it works in a changing room. And I hope there was a little Dutch accent voice in there as well, going fucking bananas at people. Because that's what's meant to happen when you're 4-0 down in a derby. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Fergal there with a super chat says, can't believe how wrong Rio and JJ were on Casemiro compared to me and Joel. I think Rue's mentality is how United is ran too. He was min equals should play. Yeah, I mean, still got these to give away. I'm going to sort it out probably by the end of today. So if you want to become a member, hit the link in the description. We'll box one of those off. We've got 4 of those to give away, actually. So Casemiro, as is the guy we're talking about at the moment. If you want one of those FIFA cards, become a member and we'll just choose some to give away. But yeah, when did picking players... I mean, I tried to say this yesterday. When did picking players on reputation become a thing to do? And how can you as a manager pick players based on what they've done? This is the argument we've got against Gareth Southgate. Oh, Harry Maguire's done well for me in the past. I know what he does, but he's not in form at the moment. I'm just going to pick him anyway. That's what Rio and Jermaine was asking for yesterday. We all agreed, I think, more or less all agreed pre-match, and I'm not here to rewrite history. Scott McTominay give everyone a selection headache. Now, following that game, yeah, you could easily mix it up. You just got spanked. But that team, the nucleus at least of that team, or near enough all of that team, had just won 4 games on the bounce. I understand you tailoring your approach to different opponents. But we'd played on the counter against 2 decent sides in Liverpool and Arsenal within that winning run. It made sense to keep that team the same, in my opinion. Marvin says JJ and Rio were right. But they weren't. They were picking somebody based on reputation, not based on what he'd done. He had a start against Real Sociedad and was garbage. He hadn't earned the right to start. And if you're saying, well, his career has given him the right to start, then you're exactly the same as Gareth Southgate, picking players based on reputation and not the evidence that's right in front of you. Simple. Legend says, I think City are always going to beat us. I was just wishing it wasn't such a big loss. No, we were the clear underdogs, right? City are absolutely flying. Absolutely flying. But you go there with the intention of playing a certain way to try and come up with a result. Conceding 6 goals, I don't think was a part of anybody's plan in that. IR says, do I think Casemiro was a Ten Hag signing or a United signing? I think it's too early to tell. Luke says he was woeful for Portugal as well. I'm assuming that's not Casemiro. JRB says, what is all the shit about letting Ronaldo leave in January now? Why keep him and not let him leave in the window just gone? We can't rely on Marshall, so we need someone for the long term anyway. I do wonder about this, and I'm going to do a bigger deep dive into the situation with Ronaldo in another video, so I'm not covering it in too much depth today, but I'm going to have a gander in here as well. I believe United didn't want to let Ronaldo go. I think Ten Hag, in his selection, has shown you that he didn't really care whether he went or he stayed. I think it was United that didn't want to let Ronaldo go. And there's been some sort of talk in the papers today that's going to change, and come January that might actually be a possibility for him, but I guess we will see. C says the whole team was wank, but United fans always need a scapegoat, so they're going to blame Fernandes. I mean, Fernandes didn't concede 6 goals, did he? Manraj said, did I see Kara's comment about how the centre-halves were terrified of Haaland? I disagree, to be honest. I don't know necessarily how you do stop him, but I don't think they were terrified of him. Ed says, I think that Cass deserves to play himself out of the team based on who he is, what he's done, whereas Scotty has to play himself into the team based on what he's done previously. But, you know, he had been given a start, and it was against Sociedad, and again, he was pretty poor, wasn't he? So, based on the evidence that's in front of us, like I said yesterday, I am sure he will become a starter over the next month. I just see that's the way it's going. He's going to get games, and so will Ronaldo. We've got too many games to play this month. He will feature, and I expect he'll probably take his place by the end of this month. But people are rewriting history over the weekend, and that's wrong. Fergal there, he says, bigger super chat, and a well done so far on your 457. Any news on that analyst coming from Ajax? No, I think it's gone very quiet, actually, so I guess it's not happening at the moment. IR says, did I see our captain smirking on the bench when we were 6-1 down? It was a Photoshop, mate. It wasn't real. It was a Photoshop. Lucky Singh says, win, lose or draw mentality. New stadium makes sense when it is non-Sunday. United were scared. What? I don't understand what you're saying there. Okay says, obviously the first half was awful, but I thought our build-up play for our goals was decent and showed the manager wants us to play. He does, yeah, but I think you've got to take into account that City just fucking tossed it off at half-time. Lucky says, start pushing for a new stadium, win, lose or draw. I don't want a new stadium. I want Old Trafford to be upgraded. I don't want a new stadium. I love the fact that, the Babes and everything have played on that stadium. We just dropped in a question for you guys if you want to get involved. Do you want the Ronaldo video later today? And the options are yes and of course. Big Ball Basis says Donny van der Beek still can't get a sniff. We will be doing a video on Donny as well. That's in the pipeline. I do find Donny's situation incredibly interesting. And I think the situation with Casemiro is very much replicant of what we saw towards the back end of last season, where it was, we played shit, therefore anybody that didn't play is the saviour of this team and would have mean we won if they'd have started, when it's nowhere near the case. I just think that was something that happened all the time. Johanna says, will Casemiro start next match versus Everton? Someone, I think from the Telegraph, has just reported that that's going to be the case. Notch says 10 players on their last year of contracts. Love hearing that Ten Hag wants the board to hold off new contract offers. Is there really 10? I'll make a note of that, and I might have to look into that because that sounds like it could be a good video. Brian says, great to see Marshall back from injury with 2 goals. Fantastic pen too. It was a brilliant penalty. Brilliant penalty. 20 Legend said Ronaldo's only going to make United worse since returning absolute shit. I mean, he still scored. And I still think he could score in this team. But here's an issue that you've got to figure out. Definitely an issue people got to figure out. Ed says, I would have played Cass and McTominay, put Rashford left, Anthony right, Bruno false 9, Ericsson playing behind as an 8/10. That might have been the option. But in hindsight, what we're going to do. Okay, Marigold says, what goalkeeper would you put in for if De Gea leaves? We'll do that as well as a whole deep dive on it. Lucky says, oh, missed it. Where's it gone? People are getting carried away. That's why City hammer you. Lucy says Scott, Casemiro, Ericsson, midfield. What, and drop Bruno? I'm not sure that's going to happen. Messi Musk says Ronaldo will definitely play a lot of minutes in the next game. Yep, totally agree. I think he's going to play a hell of a lot of minutes in the next game. Especially with it being Europa League. I think that he's probably going to feature loads. But then you've also got to consider, is he going to play Martial because he needs him to get match fit? Are we not getting a Trent Alexander-Arnold video, Steve? He's been utter shite. He has, but yeah, I don't know. It's just not the sort of video I'm going to do. John says, if you think about it, the game was shite, but where last season you wouldn't hear a peep, this season there seems to be some fight when we're fucked over. Yeah, that's interesting. And, Pepper's had some heavy defeats, certainly in his first season. Klopp has had some heavy defeats even recently. These sorts of things happen when you're changing the makeup of the team. They're not nice. You don't want to replicate them very often, but it is a case that these things do happen. We are in a big rebuild, and it's going to take a long time for us to get all the way back to where we were. A long time. But, you've got to trust the process, hope that people are making the right decisions at the top, and then we'll see what the script is. Kakala says, there's too many games coming thick and fast to say Ronaldo will not play soon. Correct. Right, I'm going to rock and roll from there. But cheers, if you want to follow my 457-kilometer challenge that I'm doing, I'm 40k in, another 10k coming today. It's been hard, but it is what it is. It's not meant to be easy. Check it over on my Instagram, Mr. Stephen Howson on Instagram. If you want to win some of these, giving them away to the YouTube members, so make sure to subscribe and join on there. You're getting some extra content on there, as well as Patreon as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.